That way you all kind of split the split the cost and also split the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Who's there?
Risk. Risk is one of those words. It could be a noun and it could be a verb,
Yes.
depending on how you use it. And not an adjective ever, I don't think.
You know, it's funny. There was a time in my life where and I mean this is going to be really hard to believe, but I had just done the curtain call. Uh, was in a steel cage match with Shawn Michaels. It was the largest grossing house in the history of the WWE that wasn't a pay per view. Over $300,000 at the Garden. um, Smoked weed, and then I think it was June the 6th. I showed up with no script, and I was going to join Scott Hall on a Nitro, and this was going to be our Scott promised a big surprise next week, and this is going to be the first time that we were going to be together on the rival program on Nitro.
That was a shot heard around the world, is what
Yeah,
that was.
and I had forgotten about it, you know, until yeah, LA Night brought it up on SmackDown, and from the response that the SmackDown crowd gave them, I'm quite sure they've forgotten about it
They
also.
forgot about it as
Yeah,
well.
and I just thought to myself like that I read like on different things where he was like he took a shot at me, and I said, how is that really taking a shot at me? I said, so what you're basically saying is now this is somebody. We'll get to the second part of it. So this is a guy that basically is a bottom feeder. I mean, because if you were to look at it systematically, if Hall doesn't jump and Nash doesn't jump, and we don't start our little thing, and all of a sudden the biggest thing in wrestling is who's the third man. We're already beating WWE in the ratings and have now for like 4 or 5 weeks in a row. So that's our. It doesn't even. I mean, Hulk jumping does make a big difference. But we have this now. We have this contract with favored nations. All of a sudden, the guys are Mark Marrow's getting a $500,000 guaranteed for the WWE, and granted, I mean, I made a mistake because we didn't have everything written for us, and I didn't have anybody. There was no Attitude Era. Like we had to invent the Attitude Era before you could rip off the guys from the Attitude Era. So it's just like, and so it's like I didn't have a Rock or a Stone Cold to. I could have came out there behind Bischoff and just slammed two beers behind his back and guzzled them down the front of my shirt had I have known. Scott could have had on a pair of welding goggles, maybe put on some Wu Tang Timberlands.
Engineer boots. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, but not tucked in like Wu Tang did. Just have them out, like kind of like the construction village people. The guy from the YMCA.
So, so you find yourself in the ring. You're scriptless.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm actually at the position. Eric's at the announce position. The ring is in the background.
Oh, that's yes. You had the
Yeah,
platform. It was the
yeah,
platform.
so
Yeah.
we're so and I I do mistakenly say adjective instead of verb, which I guess I mean I don't know. I grew up in Detroit. Maybe it's not as you know wherever he grew up, somewhere in New Hampshire or Massachusetts or some white bread place, but um, I just really wasn't like when I picked like my action heroes or my tough guys or even my favorite pro wrestlers when I was a kid. Just grammar and punctuation just wasn't that important to me. Like I don't remember saying like, man, that guy's grammar is so bad. I don't think I can hang out with him anymore.
Well, that's how these and you were foolish because that's how these stars got to the top.
Right.
Lou Thez, Bruno San Martino, masters of linguistics
It's. I think.
and
I think.
parts of speech.
Yes, I think San Martino is a perfect example. You know, there's a guy that just rocked his SAT. So, but it is what it is. I mean, it's been brought to light, and then I saw it. So I start kind of following this chain, this story of how he kind of laid into me. Gave me the old, and it actually says in there that where I didn't know who he was and kind of gave him a hard time, but then came back and said, you know, that I apologized, and if people wanted him to be their chosen one, then he could be their chosen one. I didn't have a problem with it. So it looked like I kind of took the high road, and then he, for some reason, brought up something that, and I understand why he did it because he doesn't fucking know. He doesn't know. I mean, the guy took him 29 years to get over, so he's going to make mistakes along the way because it wasn't like he had any kind of clear cut pattern or plan to make it. Besides, figured he just the Rock and Steve have been gone long enough that he'd just do their shit, and so he's up. I see where he's up for a new contract. So I call Triple H, and I'm like, Paul. I said, you know, what's the deal with this? Because early it said that that negotiations were going great, and all of a sudden it seemed like there was a hitch.
I think they're
And
far apart from what I
yeah,
heard. Yeah.
and Paul told me, he goes, he says, I don't understand why this kid, because and he says, I use that term lightly. I said, what do you mean? He goes, kid. He goes, "Yeah, the guy's my age." I said, I don't think he's quite your age. He's pretty damn close. And I said, are you more worried about the fact that like his fan appeal will recede as fast as his hairline is? Like, is that something you're worried about? You know, I mean, because I mean, it's bad enough. I mean, like I said, unless you're just a knob gobbler, there's no way you would pick those sunglasses as a pair of sunglasses that you would wear. So, that being said, and then Paul said, he said, we're so far apart because the only way I'll sign this guy is on a nostalgia act. I said, what do you mean, like me? Like he's like be on the Legends? He goes,
A
well,
Legends
yeah.
deal.
He said, well, he's doing their shit. I can't give him same pay as guys that are going out there and doing original shit. It's like fucking. He's like Shecky Green. It's like fuck. Come on, it's this guy isn't doing anything. It's like he came up with. He said here
Shecky Green wrote his own material.
he went back 27 years to find the adjective. If I would have known that Moses was going to come down while they were building the golden calf with the tablet that said, "Thou shalt not use adjective in place of a verb," if I'd have known that, maybe I'd have written something down before I walked out there. If I was stoned to the bone, I was on guaranteed money. I was I was talking about Marge and Mein Kampf. I threw adjective out. Forget about it.
Any Mein Kampf
Would you
reference?
would you like to come up in my room and see my bird? Well, come on, man. The Dice Man was selling out Madison Square Garden. You bringing that shit up? Come on, dude. You do better than that. Obviously, you can't. So, yeah. So I guess the impasse is that he's been offered a Legends deal, which I would take. I mean, I'm in the Hall of Fame twice. Both times is Kevin Nash. I mean, he's L.A. Night. What the fuck is L.A. Night? Was that Night Ranger's first vinyl? The name of it? I mean, what is L.A. Night? That's like Oz. What are you? Just you're the evening? What is L.A. Night?
Well, I think it's you're talking about nostalgia acts. Maybe it's an intersection of like L.A. Law and Knight Rider. Maybe something like classic TV.
Ah.
You're going, it definitely appreciates
Oh,
the
he's
stuff that
definitely
came before
anything
him.
he can fucking steal. He's on top of. That's for sure. Because I don't see anything original.
Listen, my whole thing when I first saw this. Now I got it, obviously, but and I think maybe people our age got it, but I don't think anyone in the house knew. I mean, I didn't hear the expected reaction. I mean,
I haven't. I've only seen that little clip that's on Twitter, so I can't get the house reaction. But I can tell by his reaction that he goes right into the next sentence that he didn't have to like pregnant pause because the house erupted in laughter.
right.
Hardy har hey.
Which is where I was coming from when I heard it. I was like, okay, responding to Kevin, but why not pick? There are other things he could have chosen. The list of things that he could have chosen to reference Kevin Nash in a not so polite way. You could have, all right. You could have done the quad.
Yeah,
He,
but that
he
that,
could
that
have.
see that's if you're one of the boys and you put that mojo on your ass, you could end up the next night. You don't want to talk about somebody getting injured.
Because it was a legit injury. Okay, how about the finger poke? Could he have done something with that? Something clever. Get the writers together to come up with a clever reference to the finger poke of doom.
I mean, that's one of those situations where if you actually or have any recollection of that era, Eric Bischoff came out before the show and said that Mick Foley was going to win the world's title that night and not to watch, and 4 million households jumped to watch Mick win the championship and didn't see the finger poke. So
It was Shivani, I think, that made the call. No, about
I don't know who
yeah,
made
I
the
think
call. I'm just
it
saying
was
though
Shivani.
that 4 million people switched to watch Mick when the
I would if I were in LA Knight's position and I wanted to pull your braids a little bit, I might have done something like the maybe a Ninja Turtle movie reference, the five moves with the hair flip. Might have referenced you're knocking the toilet tank back off while you whack off in the bathroom. We've learned a lot about you. That maybe bulkhead avoidance on flights. I could have
but
referenced.
it's
I
just
don't know that I would have gone for the adjective.
I don't yeah
Too
it's
obscure.
just I mean it was a good effort. I appreciate it. And I got a bunch of pictures of me looking like Robert E. Lee at the first Hall of Fame uh, through social media. So
All right.
gonna look like Jules Verne tonight, don't
Um. Yes. Are we going to do the Leagues Under the Sea reference again? I think
I? Yeah.
we covered that
69
last time.
leagues under the sea.
Do I sound weird to you? I'm getting something in the notes here that my mic might be distorted. I don't know. How do
You
I
don't sound
sound to
weird to
you?
me.
Okay.
Say the word adjective.
I did. I sound boring and was it not hungry anymore, but not distorted.
Obviously, they have
That's
been
fine.
seeing these Kliq these paychecks that we've been. I mean, we're a little bit fat on the hog because, hey, wasn't like we didn't have 6 ad reads last week. Much to your chagrin, people that watch.
We did have 6 ad reads last
Yeah.
week, didn't we?
So yeah.